All right, so news coming in as at this particular morning and dawn indicated that there was an ongoing coup d'etat which was going on in our neighboring country, Benin. Now, Benin is in between, or is just it's just a country apart from Ghana. I'm talking about Ghana. We share borders with Togo. But after Togo, we have Benin, and Benin also share borders with Nigeria. Now, there's a lot of things which is really going on, but then there's also news coming in because the people who staged this whole coup d'etat, they went on national television to say that they've succeeded. Meanwhile, the country's interior minister and the country's president have also come out in an address saying that the coup d'etat has been failed. But before then, let's watch what really happened when this coup d'etat actually was reported. When we come back, we'll look at what France 24, which happened to be Emmanuel Macron's France television, what they said about this, and even how the France military, together with the French president Emmanuel Macron and the international community, their reaction towards this. So let's just watch this first bit of this particular clip. When we come back,
news out of West Africa from the country of Benin, where a military coup is underway. Soldiers have appeared on national television saying that they have overthrown President Patrice Talon, seizing power of the country. We're also getting reports of gunfire near Talon's residence that's located in Benin's largest city of Cotonou. And the West African country is sandwiched between Togo and Nigeria. In January, 2 associates of the president were sentenced to 20 years in prison for plotting a coup last year. We will have more later on at this developing story.
So last year, a coup d'etat attempt also went on in Benin, but this time around, we learned that this coup d'etat attempt was coming from the previous president or the ex-president, and he has currently been jailed for 20 years and is currently serving a sentence. So when we got up this particular morning, news on social media coming in from Benin indicates that some soldiers, some military personnel claim that they've successfully toppled the Talon government. So Benin's president is called President Talon, and then his tenure is due to end next year, 2026, and we are learning that he is going to step down. But before then, we told you that the military or the people behind this particular coup d'etat, they went on national TV, they seized the television station to announce to the whole public and the whole country, Beninois people, that they have successfully staged a coup d'etat, and the country's president, the country's military, and together with other state agencies who will have ensured that this coup d'etat wouldn't have happened, they've been toppled. But before then, let's take a look at this particular video and how all of these things unfolded within just a span of just 3 hours. When we come back, we have more updates coming from this particular issue, because currently the president is saying that the coup d'etat was failed. Meanwhile, the people who actually staged the coup d'etat, they are also saying that the coup d'etat was successful. So it's a balance here.
Sources close to Benin President Patrice Talon said the military has regained control after an attempted coup d'etat in the West African country. Foreign Minister Shegun Ajadi Bakari said the majority of National Guards and military remained loyal to the president. Soldiers led by Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigri had seized the headquarters of state television and announced the dissolution of the government. And here is the Interior Minister, Alassane Seydou.
Fellow countrymen and women, on this Sunday, December the 7th, 2025, in the early morning, a small group of soldiers engaged in mutiny in order to destabilize the state and its institutions. Before this situation, the Benin armed forces and their hierarchy, faithful to their oath, remained republican. They fought back and allowed the situation to remain under control and to fail the maneuver. Thus, the government invites the population to keep acting as usual. Thank you.
Okay, so this was what Benin's President Talon said. Now, before this particular speech which came from Benin's president, we realized that the military behind this particular failed or non-failed coup d'etat, per reports coming in, stormed the national television of Benin to tell the whole world that they've successfully staged a coup d'etat. And then they gave certain reasons why this coup d'etat had to happen. One of the reasons was corruption. One of the reasons was the country was not heading towards the right direction. We've seen this playbook from Guinea, Gabon, other countries, even Burkina Faso. They use this same playbook and they clutch onto power. Now, let us take a critical look at the video which came first when the military stormed the television premises to announce that they have successfully organized a coup d'etat. Now, when we come back, we will also be looking at other factors because the Interior Minister is saying that the people behind the coup d'etat, they've arrested some. They've arrested most of them or some of them, and they are after the main leader. Now, the main leader here, he actually declared himself the president after announcing on national television that they have successfully staged a coup d'etat. So he said something very peculiar. This is what he said.
Les frontières terrestres, maritimes, aériennes du Bénin sont fermées jusqu'à nouvel ordre. La prise du pouvoir en ce moment traduit la ferme volonté du comité militaire de la refondation à mettre fin à l'exclusion de toutes les couches sociales de notre pays sans distinction aucune. Dans la suite de la transition et de restaurer la cohésion nationale, l'armée nationale exercera jusqu'à nouvel ordre la plénitude des pouvoirs dévolus à l'État du Bénin. Tous les fonctionnaires du Bénin, tous les travailleurs de nos villes et campagnes, où qu'ils se trouvent, doivent continuer d'assurer normalement leurs tâches quotidiennes avec plus de foi et de discipline.
So basically what the soldiers were saying here is that they've regained control. Now for context, I just wanted you to hear the voice behind this coup d'etat. Now that you've heard the voice, we'll go on to translate what exactly these military men were saying, and then perhaps their reasons for toppling the government, which we are now learning that this particular coup d'etat was kind of failed. Fail means it did not go through. Now they did mention or cite here some various reasons why this coup d'etat had to come on, and even calling on the people of Benin to support them in this cause because they believe that this is something which is in the right direction and is something which will really help the state. Now let's put this particular video on with me translating it. So in here it says that we will start from the beginning, from when the military was talking. Now we will be translating it. Is it you suspended until further notice the land, sea and air borders of Benin are closed until further notice. The seizure of power at this moment translates, okay, the firm will of the military committee for the restricting and extrication of the people and social layers for the continuation of the transition and to restore national cohesion. It further goes on to say the National Army will cease until further notice to grant full powers of the Benin. So and all the civil servants of Benin, all workers in our cities and countryside, whatever play may be, must continue to carry out their daily tasks normally with more faith and discipline. So basically, they went on air to announce that the borders of Benin have been closed. The air, the land, the sea, anything that is of a border to Benin have been closed, because the country have seized power, the military in the country have seized power. But one of the things I want you to know that immediately this military, this particular militia or group of military stormed the national TV to announce this. Shortly afterwards, the country's president Talon went on air to say that the coup d'etat was actually failed, and also the country's military leader also went on to say that the coup d'etat was not successful. Now it's a contradicting phrase coming from both parties, because even after this, when Benin's interior minister came out and said the coup d'etat was not successful, we have some people from this particular military squad coming out on social media to say the coup d'etat is successful and they want people to come out and jubilate. So let's look at what the interior minister had to say about this particular whole issue.
We're joined now by Shirley Sitbon from our news desk. Shirley, can you take us through what we know of this morning's events in Benin?
Yes, let's look at what we've seen since this morning, since the images on Benin's state television, when a group of soldiers appeared and they said that they removed President Talon from power, that what they call the Military Committee for Refoundation has dissolved all institutions in Benin, the government, and they suspended the constitution. They also said that the borders of the country were all closed. And they said that Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigri was the president of what they call the Military Committee of Benin. Very shortly afterwards, we heard government officials saying that, I quote, the situation is under control. France 24 talked to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who talked about a small group of soldiers who tried to take over, but the situation, he said again, was under control. As we've heard, the Interior Minister, the government, various government ministers told the population to go back to their daily lives, that everything is fine. We did have a local journalist telling France 24 earlier that gunshots were still heard after the government said that everything was under control. We also saw that the French embassy there in Benin, in Cotonou, said that there were gunshots near the presidential residency. So that's basically what we know at this hour from the situation there. There are many unknowns.
And what do we know of the situation of the president, Patrice Talon, and his residence had been targeted in the attempted coup d'etat earlier on?
Well, we don't know much. That's one of the unknowns so far from what I've seen. Now, you know that he was supposed to leave office in April. Elections are due in Benin. They are due. And he was supposed to end his tenure. He was in power since 2016. And after his terms are over, he was meant to leave office, and he's replaced his party has they have another candidate who is the finance minister. The political situation was was considered to be stable in the country, we don't have much information about his whereabouts now. We're waiting for this. What we do have is some initial reactions from the situation there. And ECOWAS, the bloc of Western African countries, has strongly condemned the attempted military coup in Benin. And the bloc said they would support efforts by the government to restore order. That's what we have from them. That's the first major reaction after this attempted coup. We still don't know the exact reaction on the ground. We'll know more as we go along. This, of course, the latest coup attempt in the region in Western and Central Africa. There were, several such coups which were carried out in recent years, 9 coups. So yes, this was the latest attempt, and the government says that the situation is under control. We're waiting to get more information from there.
Thank you very much for that, Shirley Sitbon from our news desk.
Okay, so that was exactly what really went on. Now we are learning that the coup d'etat has been successfully fought. Now, someone was asking in the comment section, how does this relate to Ghana? It relates to Ghana in various ways because Benin is actually a distant border native of Ghana. So whatever happens there or affects Ghana indirectly. If the country destabilizes, we are going to have people from Benin flood into Ghana. And if also, if there's war or perhaps this coup d'etat does not really go on as planned, then which means that Ghana will have to absorb Benin's President Talon because he is a legitimate democratically elected president. So Ghana, together with other ECOWAS nations, will have to assume him. He has to seek asylum here in this particular country. And you realize that in the statement, or in the report coming from France 24, they said that ECOWAS, which encompasses of Ghana, Nigeria, and other countries, have strongly condemned this coup d'etat, saying that they are fully standing with Benin's President Talon. Now, in all of these things, so there are many reportages coming in currently because the people who actually staged this coup d'etat, they are not stepping down. And according to them, the coup d'etat is actually in session. They are still fighting and they want the people of Benin the youth of Benin to actually come out in full gear, in full support on the streets and to demonstrate against the government, perhaps to show a sense of solidarity with the military, those who stayed the coup d'etat, and perhaps signal that they are with the military so that more people can actually join those who have already stayed the coup d'etat. Now, we will take a look at this particular video. This particular video happened to be the leader, or one of the leaders of who actually organized this particular coup d'etat, and he was caught on camera. He came on social media. He did a video saying that the coup d'etat is still in full gear and they have successfully toppled the government. Meanwhile, the president of Benin, together with his interior minister, is also saying otherwise. So let's watch what he said. When we come back, we continue.
Béninoises et Béninois, bonsoir. Je suis le colonel Tigri Pascal. Depuis ce matin, nous avons lancé une opération qui consiste à libérer le peuple béninois de la dictature de Patrice Talon et des libertés qu'il a longtemps arrachées au peuple béninois. Nous vous invitons à un soutien massif de notre action et nous appelons le gouvernement français à ne pas du tout s'initier dans les affaires intérieures de notre très cher pays, la République du Bénin.
All right. So for those of you who don't understand what he says, he's basically saying that the coup d'etat is actually in session. They've been able to successfully topple the government. It's not fault. They should just, if you are listening or if you are hearing on the news that the coup d'etat wasn't successful, just ignore that. But then perhaps it's like the momentum on those who actually stay this coup d'etat is down. Now, BBC is even reporting on this, saying Benin coup d'etat attempt failed by loyalist troops, Interior Minister says. So, according to the Interior Minister, a section of the military actually stopped this particular coup d'etat because these particular troops were considered to be loyalists. They want Benin to be a country that that basically follows the rule. Now, we are also getting breaking news from Benin, actually giving us a glimpse as to what is really happening. Now, as you can see on the screen, it says that this is coming from Kennedy Wandera, who happened to be a journalist staged or perhaps in Benin. It says military sources close to Benin President Patrice Talon say that a dozen of soldiers have been arrested, that there are 13 arrests, including 12 military personnel who stormed the national television station Benin TV. So according to reports coming in, we are learning that the military sources close to Benin is indicating that the coup d'etat attempt was not successful. It was failed indeed, as President Patrice Talon of Benin said. And indeed, also 13 arrests have been made. So those that we saw on the street, they were exchanging gunfire and all of that. All of these people have been arrested. Now, one other thing, though, that is also kind of shocking is that it goes on to say here is that 12 military personnel who also stormed the country's television station, that's Benin TV, to announce that the country is now experiencing a coup d'etat, and then the president's government have been toppled. All of them have been arrested. Now, we are learning that the person who actually led this whole coup d'etat, he is currently on the run. So in here, let us read this particular part. It says, Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigri, the mastermind behind the failed coup d'etat attempt, is actively being sought by the military. So the man that we saw, he is the person known as Lieutenant Colonel Pascal, and he is the person who actually staged this coup d'etat. Most of his men have been arrested, the coup d'etat have been failed, and now the military is actively pursuing him. It goes on to say, Colonel Tigri, considered a strong man behind the coup d'etat attempt, is an artillery officer and belongs to the National Guard. So this man is not actually a military personnel per se. Even though it's a military personnel, it belongs to the parts of the military that handles the weapon, the artillery. Okay, and also he's part of the National Guard. In fact, when we need more soldiers on the ground, he is a person who they consider an alternative, an extra backup for the country. Now, it goes on to say, access routes to the presidential palace are blocked by barricades. Police officers are stationed in front and diverting traffic. Tanks have also been seen speeding towards a boulevard de la Marina. So they are saying that the main road that leads to the presidential palace have been blocked. The military is out, tanks have been out, and they are doing everything to safeguard the president and make sure that the president stays in power. It goes on to say, according to several sources, the mutineers first headed towards Patrice Talon residence, where they were forcefully repelled by the Republican Guard. Then they targeted the presidential palace before storming the state radio and television station, where they managed to record their message. So Initially, they tried to storm the residence of the president, but then the military there successfully stopped them from actually entering and taking hostage of the president. Then they moved on to, in Ghana, what would term as the Flagstaff House or the presidential palace in Benin. They wanted to enter there and basically take control, and they were also stopped by the military on guard there. Then they successfully went to the radio and TV stage to announce the coup d'etat have happened, which in reality the coup d'etat have been fought. So this is basically the conflicting reports here, which is really coming in, and now we can say on authority that this coup d'etat attempt have successfully been fought. We are just, in fact, all of us are baffled by this particular news, but then we believe that in due course more information will come, and as many networks have already started responding or perhaps started reports on this issue, the Benin coup d'etat have not been successful. So that is the news, and the main mastermind behind this is currently being sought after by the military. We are definitely following this issue. We'll be giving you more updates, but so far many West African countries are just thanking God that perhaps this coup d'etat will not be the second in just few months. So that is the latest updates in regards to the coup d'etat, which apparently happened in Benin, but then it has been successfully fought per reports coming in. Alright, it's you for you better so and simple for so. Me no say sisia no ye mame tiwa wewu. For those of you amuni mame tiwa, she happened to be a gospel musician. Just on ya sapon and just a konda kranda. We will try as much as possible say we play some of her videos, but then one of her popular songs just a boy who how sing together with ya sapon. Now she was considered to be ya sapon's lead singer even up until Nibu ba and now much no information and na airba na air patch say isia no as on ya sapon ehyeho because maybe a trim na say no oyire eba out ya sapon eba out because ma mitiwa agini kunu aboso back and forth bebre emomu kopie mu ewo insem ni kopie mu oyire pa na ma mitiwa ebe defending ne ho na echi so ya sapon so eba out because sia di oba on ne te a wagina tum a ohwe no se ne yire Mamitiwa. Now, Chesa Mamitiwa na she was okay. In fact, recent rapaholic home kamiana ye nuabe masa kwodi ye nukranese or how to support in her own capacity as a gospel musician. But then Nancy Muni se ne ho fa no eno na yare no eka ne ho a ahomachi ene da homa ene ne dumre bepem ena ahomachi Sunday ene rashe no e de call hospital and no pay with jemu na in some way ba amafo bisa say what really happened obekai osofo a in some way nyina ba about ya sapon odi betu just so ono hwe ya sapon ne ade ane or in some betu just say up until nansen mu die na che say nipa na hwe ya sapon mamitiwa but then Mamitiwa also be yare. Now this interview was before Mamitiwa ni wo ni ba ebe okan bibia ene Mamitiwa ni wo no ababishia. According to Papa we anasofo yi sofo JY or patch say Mamitiwa ene ya sapon and maybe some many years ago almost share ban nasi omo bobo no omo konya akwenshi masa akwenshi no konya en ka ne munufa so several times na ka ne munufa so several times ni echimu ya and I'm so Emma Mamitiwa ene ya sapon they suffered massive injuries into sa injuries no and na abedane ne ho bruni beka say after effect and I say ho by this time intin ama Mamitiwa nkasa no abone yare ama yare nkitinkiti aka na ya sapon de yare na oyare ni nyina no enini be hia ama ne yare ni mu ayeden na inse we na sofo JY edu edi tuja shortly o kan sansem we in 3 days po na ye te se Mamitiwa we free mu akọ yenhwe video ye babaka ye beto aso
na a doctor for Ukraine omo ba mu ye ya de na omo bo mama ne no so mo fa me ba no mra me ba no ntumo fa no be sabe bia no mama nche to be fair to kan dia na try to second sickness na normal there be you know asofu bi man person me bobo mu diri e bi nkura de yikuru no hu pa da gunu so say you know mama fi mama nche until so nya asase kan yare kese no ana obedi ne feeling climb to a people mobile say the nyame adom yaw no ho ye obeto nwum ye bibia na ye nya no se obekọ outside akototo enyom se de kan no ye no eno de be kakra nsa fi se yare na ha no yare ahodo be se na asibnum Everybody dinkuni mama yen. Nti akakakakakra bi a epese to no boase. Don't forget so onyini over 60 years. Nti na ho de men koyete se manti a ho de o be ni gidigidi sa ebio. Na asidan kan yakopon se otiase. Upon about 4 or 5 years no a this a doctor bi be sa no.
Yeah.
Radiasa. Say, oh, yeah, sapun. Like I said,
Yes, sir.
like I said, Bob, and a bishop, I could. No, come one person be feel home.
Oh, that's all.
Oh, we feel I so feel the mammy too, and then one no more.
Okay. It is here and it's a program be banning near the Mamiti one a correct man.
I mammy too, and ban on the now, as a damn king, Mr. Mammy too, or ye at the cassia, and maybe I chair, ye.
Yes, upon.
Yeah, that's upon the gun, you know. Because the Jamaican says, yes, upon and no party, our boy, you know, Tiwa Timubo. But yes, upon Timu Motiwa partner.
Oh, okay.
Say, Tiwa the bar no carbon to that. Oh, but to you know. Do as upon patch or boy as upon patch over because on one, you know. No, somebody in the account. Say, we need problem. Tiwa Niwa, that's upon find it difficult.
Wow.
Because, Timuko found for them about Tiwa patch over a year. Well, I was half of Tiwa. Over one post school, then I pop on Concolo. I share no. Timothy. No, I suppose to my train. Yes, upon you mean, or yeah, in what you are. You see a bad set to do as upon the tomato.
It's nice to see a 2 and put I suppose.
Or no, they couldn't be.
Okay.
What train?
Okay.
I perfect pass.
You see, I did yes,
yeah, oh, yeah, papa, maybe baby, but them or men, them, a team come. You are an home for papa, but Brenti. You know, could you come, son, I may back.
Oh, okay. And then, Brian, baby, Bill will be and your shows will share live. Days TV. Baby, we should be and Auntie was also speedy recovery.
Also, the baby card will move for
oh,
and they are support and the coffee they can see it so by can't boof so say, well, move whom you cry, you won't be doing it. Where the car is boo fast. I'll move survival and nti do baby ti wa so fe no nya side you can't side effect to say
the side effect okay eja omo wa share yen kwa dem you say bibia be to na kwa
ya mo carry mpa bo mo red
eja easy
so ya be ku
eja Ghana man say person omo find out in this year last year November dem say come share o yes share.
So that was Bishop J.Y. Edua na Mami Tiwa ene ya sapon etene nchen sana Mami Tiwa be film na se na odi kan di tudwa no Mami Tiwa nkasa na nipa sisi otene nchen sisi J.Y. Edu because asori fie ho na omunyina omwo na ochemu se na nsimu no na maame ne ho emfa no but then ochemu se enye se bia sickness bia terminal illness se bia yare bia awo no so ache like heart attack, stroke, the kidney the bi na ka bi na de omkwohwe ase some time ago nti sa aka na de omkwohwe ase no ho side effects na ase eyi ne ho edia no sa yare ne kra ene ya sapon de ne kuhia nti Mami Tiwa apo de na no ho okay kakra ɛna yɛnim deɛ ɛsi ɛna nsɛn no asɛ ne ho mfa no ɛno ara ne sɛ ahomakyi yɛ te sɛ yɛde no akɔ hospital yɛde no kɔ hospital so a yɛnsom maame ɔkɔ just like that, which is actually a very sad news for those of you amunim no maame tiwa ɔne Yarsapon ɛna gyina hɔ no. So Yarsapon ɛwɔ the right side, the left side of the screen, and maame tiwa ɛwɔ the right side. I mean, because maame tiwa, she is gone. Now yɛnkɔhwɛ a bit of a performance. This was one of the last ever performance or have yɛkɔ indeed 1 month. And sana maame tiwa if you babaka you will news about that Lumba and the poison because ɔhene bɛn tim barima or the same be about it.
Don't worry for me, this is my life. I'm doing my life.
Okay, so that was one of the last performance I am Maame Tiwa have and sana onya yakopon etone sa afredo. Now straight up, when I told you say we have news for about that Lumba. Papaya always seems to see your friend or Heneba Tim Berima. I've been listening to him from 2008, 2007. Time on our Hot FM. Now apparently that Lumba we on us needing about for himself because we are now learning say that Lumba tia senior because now oye known diabetic patients no. Let us say oko Heneba Tim Berima say Hunaba Mbwano. Let us say Oma ne onhwe ne didie mu ye nti de wo so odi de won so odi. So all of these were no meet makase ni nutritionist ana ohwe aduane a ondi ni ade na eyo Heneba that Lumba the nutritionist eyo Heneba Tim Berima neda okopie mu ewo UTV United Showbiz because in some now bar sisi an ibusuafo se the injunction ato ye no so ne ade and I try say ono so okoye in the capacity as obi na otiase Lumba ni nutritionist and Lumba ni herbal medicine personal doctor, you can put it that way. And odi to just say that Lumba catch and say emrebi ye poison no. So this whole poison issue and amount will be brave so no kre enya no kre no. According to Ohinebe Tim Berima no that Lumba sa no catch no. And if you no catch no kra no e bro ne kasan anche bia ena Kofi nti yes musician Kofi nti ebe pie mo ho ena no so o catch Kofi nti ma Kofi nti catch o kan ena Kofi nti boss so o ampa because o catch Kofi nti say okay ABC bia na no esi no say yes ampa. Na yenkotie insama Ohineba Tim Berima edituja or there a whole lot of things etuja ebro muku pie mu ewo United Showbiz until yebeti kan kwa share the video involved say babaka yebehwe all the other aspects and also in sema eboba in regards with this thing because sinidi kan dituja no amount be bree epenchemu because now abetoja and asabi you are confirming say that Lumba he was truly poisoner. The big question amount will be say who poisoned him? And 2, eba ne say na sisi an autopsy results no empenifo bi ewu busuafo ebusuani mo person beye. So these are huge questions that perhaps it is lingering at the end of the day I believe say we still need answers. And you know ebekwa kuti eye Oheniba Intim Berima in some of the to when we come back we will look more into this particular issue.
Say o catch me say ye poison no na me lie o kire me baby ye poison no ne senia o kasa asem no osu because or somebody for fufuom it would be here na onya crisis e ko do hospital no mu twa scan o mu twa scan no e no mu nsa di round bi di da ne yam ti abrofo doctors ne feel say e cocaine wa memere asam e kam gino tweda mponya kopa anim me ye pani I don't lie ti abrofo ne hu sa no wo mo dwene sa kwa na me mini cocaine mo fa ne to no onwu ohema lumba custom wa no usu no mo to na twene ye oda ho be 2 hours no onwu ye ni ntam kese pa na me ka kire one no oda ho be 2 hours no onwu no say akwa ina ko kan wa memini no onwu ye ti yan kusan kohwe no mo say twas kan na ade na nane e kire o say adageste eti ho na fedi o mu titi no mu say poison bisi bi gino tuamfo otweda mpo anim na me kasam wi lumba kasa no wusu the man has really suffered and no na wesen ne yade no it on air na omo ye nimu de eku no ye nimu de eku ne ekoye postmortem na me di we ye example men kan sebe maami akoso say wa na poison I didn't say that ono akasa nso kan say yes e namfo bi he told me and I was very happy say Kofi Ntisuba later ebe confirm me say was in now for the poison no if you na yade ye bebre I know his medical report menya medical doctor I practice natural medicine license 1 ono anso ba me no humu a me de mo ana me change na dua me ma na me yire ko ni fie ko kire nas enema woni they know every secret concerning the disease pacho wutie me then I use this as example say munya say postmortem na postmortem can say any postmortem the aye na is okay yen koja ne kwan na won home na wabre wa musem akoka de yenka atem didie ne kwa da mitimi nka bi ba me ka ba akon obi ka che se mitikoto nyansa bi anim mitikoto nyansa nim and I'm look at this adana butiti lumbasa adai dia make bia ne se abusuafo amutie mi lumba ya modehie o ye de spectators dia mo ye ne da ho twemo etimo obi ansaranda na se 13 fo ye nkosie lumba after that obi apeso ye bia no monye sa wo ba twema nso so be kansan yo na mo mo pesa mo step the role of abusuapani de mo ye ti no chieftains will support you because obi anu se abusuapani be yi a na boni se one e be so ni duam e be yire no eto one na se wo hwe se yakora ne de hye no. Why don't we know this? Esese yehu abusuapani nye ordinary na sabe wanyama wo hwe family tree a ya ka family tree ne dey family tree no ne dey
Arnold.
What's the family is
like Ebusieti?
Obo family tree. That's Obo family tree.
Yeah, until the time me dey family tree assemble mo. But some say Ebusiapen ko nye moja. Ya ka family tree ne dey. Eduane si on branches. Enti stem no ene maame a odi ka pa account for na ye come material no. Stem no ene maame odi kan ya nasefo etreko ti etreko ni na ye branches ana meboa ti ye dra ubo maami odi kan no ono kora anso no ye he eduane root na e ancestors no bia ye nimu wo mo because generation after generation ti ye bastem na fe branches na ekọ ti ye draw lumba busua family tree a branches no abusua pani ka ho etina ye to abaye abusua pa ye yi no eti se lumba nko awu ya na etimi ka se abusua pani nya blood. What am you check it? Let's say you pekwan bi ability man no na chese ye twi afade so e no bibia so beka se ayi si akama mu a eye man na run ye o twantro oba suggest kire busua pe no po be fa pa won fa
Oba di
Dabi. Yeah, Ofia. It's all about Abusia Penny, lawyer or question Busami Chiromu.
No, contrary to expert witness, Safo can tank or buy.
No, Opaniwa lawyer one test Safo can tank the answer.
It's documented. I say. No, I have.
And I'm say.
I have it here.
And I'm say.
Let me be
one tears here because Mami Chiromu. One tears here. Obiwa. Ewufia Busia Penny. Nemu o consult to mano.
Okay. I feel like watching.
Or consult to man, but information we dig about tennis. A man is here. Almost a man organize a year. Oh, lawyer. Information a bit the one ten or no.
Okay.
Sir, me wadaji me tie. One more said one face on Kasama mame. I'm say one or dobru me tie obia de me wadaji. 10 year information what tennis a ma and the see obi. Etomunyama lumba sister sinsie no
ntimpacho se obra wu a wan na esie no
obra wu a eya busuapani
ebusuapani
yes
na o maami su wu
o maami wu a eya busuapani na woni maami nkla ha ne ma me papa wu ye me papa wu abusua ye meeting na busua ka se monko pe besia o munim se bia ne bakora wusika wu they are rich o mbe yon papa yi but on be catch them say mon kope besia before be kasa mon kope besia ne ye be discussion ahwe budget ya ye de be ye no abusua ni nyina o eso okay ye we de lumba ye de ye de 100 billion e be ye wi a wo mu nim so o ma 2 bi a e hye mo ho eso ye nkasa mo na mo fa sika me so mon kope besia mara me pato uti ade na say na mo de bisika ne be ye mo sika o ba indirect way say e ye abusua sika ye wi ye no a obi asika wode ba ye be ma wo
okay
enna mo amo wo sika na mo mi se mo papa mo pese mo yeshu eboro so a mo be sra busua pani se obi antana nche ye pese ye papa yi eno mo sra o be sra ansa etulumba maami wu ya mesa wu ye no obi anim se ono ana ye yi no enso wo sra busua pani waje permission
ansan
yes esa ne na kamam me papa ye fe ne yantim kwa utafo owu ye ohema me pe na me ye na yi but abusua ni hia manka so obi anyina nche me be ye yi abusua ni hia no busa se de sika se ne be ye ene ye toato adwene de nobody we se me ana me ye ene obi soja se de 5 billion na so 5 ndi so ye nya ne 7 afena abusua pese enko pe be se amara. And so I took over the funeral. Yewi ebu akonta. Akonta ne yati wa bi obi adi sika free ya dey. Aman. Na ye na ye well organized. Enti wo ba onua ba ansore nye ne bra ye is never true. Eyebusia penny.
Enti aje se ni nua ba na esre busia penny.
You consult abusia penny.
No de ye de mano.
Ni nua ba no. Na so odane ama wo. Otawachi
me pache say eye nunua bema ena efrim nti obetumi asre busua panyin no say okay ebia ye kope busua koye yi na me fosti ana say bempoma me wo say sika na mo abone ebia mfa ne say 200,000 me wo ho ti me so say fe yi ni ma me na me ye obetumi asre
utimi nsre ne sase emfa ye ma na wo ye yanka ne sa o beboa ama abusia pani atawachi yenim say ye sika
okay nti o beboa
yes enye sabe produce
o beboa na
enye business ne de ama wa ye na wato profit
it is ya be ma de obetumi aye
dabi the point ne say bibia hinge on abusia pani power say free ne ba ho say fini nua ba ho say free obiara o de ye further investigation na ka chem say meboa
oh sa na me de ne
yes sabe so na o ma me ne free man papa enti o hema o igina abusia pani ye de ope enso bia nim say udi ene udi bre bibia gina wo so
me je permission o de man
better but one say lumba de it's like abusia pani is nobody every day your allegation tia no your allegation tia abusia pani wo bo wa yes say wo yes say onye free to wo ye bibi kro wo soro left and right so that a day ye de maso ana say day Obi antimi se put the power abusia pani da. It's not done anyhow. Two for makwan. Wahini be a makwan.
Okay.
Wahini be a makwan. It's not done. Enya can culture, enya Santi culture. It's not done anywhere. It is say one more feel say na. They should throw the towel. Then 10 time yen yinan kamo munye lumba. Yen ho ni yen beta mochi. People are ready to help Lumba. Eja ne kwamaya ma mo kele obia me kan ni interest impo obia mora. Awra ho ane we mu na asa mo kele na wo hia we afede ya bremo kura afede ya bremo asa so mo ntede ya. Now it pains me say mo na asam ne kamo no. Mama outsiders. Ena esa ade no. Sabe wo mo afo team liga ni to wan efiri mu fie. One from Team Liga and one more say na oh say na.
Your dog Mudolumba.
Moda why?
Mudolumba.
Your
dog Mudolumba ntina ama omu pese pepe ye ebeba.
Pepe ye ne fan say ye no pese pepe ye ba anya sa na ye no. On so camera na we so to obi abusia pani. Obi abusia pani. Me we so to me abusia pani me ba wo so. Me the court case be chase you. Usu isoto obi isoto abusa pani ya say aboa no utwa ne ti ada aka bia ya homa owo utwa ne ti a bia aka bia ya homa enti wabusia pani na ye tire of abusia umu obi edi right na obi gu na nimu ase a eye busia no
na we gu ne
yes.
Ohineba in Timberima or the Etuja. But then still on this same that Lumba issue, no reports are eba sena na ni edeka yedibe too many no say akwisia sewa on a section of that Lumba ni nyanum any busuafo ni bim akwa say next week Saturday Lumba ye beba on the 13th no almost siki course on stop no. Meanwhile ebusuafo ni biso aba be kasa say whether you like it or not Saturday na 13th no ye no ebekoso yenhwe video ye babaka ye beto aso
no akwaba na odi any daddy Lumba
eye meba unu apanyi ba
unu apanyi friend saying
a friend of Kojofusu
okay
meba ane Charles Kojofusu okay na one ne yere no ewo mensa ne yere ye friend no amesa omo mame ne tini no na one no wo mensa panyin no eba panyin ene Akosia Bempoma. Okay.
Ernestina
Fusuma.
Okay.
Na say Ernestina Fusu.
Okay.
Ana Charles Kojofusu ene etoso bi no.
Okay.
The etoso mi ensanso ene
Fusina.
Okay. Fusina. Na omu na eye meba.
Okay.
Sansa mi nua panyin ma no. Fibra omunya chance fibu ese mfitianse no ye nyina na ebo mu ha edini na ochida na kudubra ese e peda ye de beye na ye anase be kra na chi kra na no honmu na enchiwa ensensen bebebe a chese nam so ma kofo kan de omunnim nyina timdidi e koso banyina na nyina mo no ena ye me amiye ja no me so e ya de ha me se sa ne ma no koso ene ndi tiwina ne se eye me ba Bempoma
na ye panyin
no ena odi emu akotena se bibia em se ye koso nyina wo tieti nkofo ano a obi a friend se papa shi a wakota na chi na se odi Bempoma na chi okika nsem gu na so nanso so ye ko bayina no nka wotie di nka meka me na kasa mpem
we na kasa severata wo se de na
wo pe de na wo hwehwe
otubusa na wo se de na obusa na se de na wo pe no se de na wo pe
de wo hwehwe ne se ne nua ne wo no wonte ase nanso so nanom kura asemi koto wo mani mama na kwan se wonye hwehwe mu besi ne but nipa no so ese se yetimi eye den se de wo wu ye sisi ya me ntwatro abosumi ensi emukra na
enumuni
enumuni sese yentimi abusua no entimi yahwe edi sese no ebredu se eba no etimi kokra na chi na asomdwe ba so no kra no ba bi wo no ne ho nto no di denti na ese abusua chiri eye ne ma bi a ensefasa enti me ka wo nyina ma amansan ani wiase mu nyina ate se eye no de wompo ye no on the 13th December no okay just say yen de beba so okay enti no ma wo obi antie bebia nsem bia be chiri bia ma obi antie
nde say abusuafo na ene abusua panyini emma
nyina giatum ya abusuafo nyina giatum ya abusua panyin di ani mu anaso gina mu a ya ye ntotwe nyina say de ebeja de hye no ekwai enti no obi antie nsem bia ekwachiri bia na emum on the 13th December no edie ye no beba so okay enti no obi antie asem bia watchiri bia say ye tuda ye na hyedo okay abusua panyin na wo kan say kotu ye ni hyeda na nachi no obi ani ho bio obetimi akan bia tie ye ni de
on the 13th yanese okasi pain so on the 30 minute there you know
baso ensesa okay na de ama ya kama yashi na ne abshenya o mani na che no ti obi adofo nyina mra me jamye okay na fe sanse telefone ebu bese ade to wani anye wa na wiye
obi na yima o
nti no esre adofo no nyina se omomra na ommeboaye
le bibia ni
yensie yedehye no nkra na ki fe
okay.
Okay, so same way and that lumba ni ne papa nia or the two joints ni bit makasa ni papa or the two joint. Now far from that too nembanom baako esi we are learning say nemba penny or Canada or no onfi eya kosi ase wa side but no Canada waba our party say ye na beba so nti o serebusuanfo nyina say the aye no or bibiara the otiti say court injunction ya they ain't forget about the yintin someone who the two joy baba.
Hello, my name is Denise Lady Amasar Fosu, the eldest daughter of the late Charles Fosu, also known as Daddy Lumba. I'm here representing my entire family today. We'd like to kindly invite you to my father's funeral, which will take place on the 13th of December in Kumasi. We wish all well-wishers and mourners to join us to celebrate his life. Thank you.
Ayame opani yaudra make say aye Charles Fosu I friend Daddy Lumba ne papa na say na enwe me dinka da adofunu nyina se emra ofrimo na wotwe da no adofo amoba e bejam ye mbeboa ye nyina medamu nyina se ewani nhyiram de mbɔhwere wo ye hu nyina yedamu ase afi eduru bra esese ye yi no ne yakra na chikra na nei no megina me nananum nyina nemu si adofo no nyina ye se omu nyina mra mmeboa yen Ghana man ene adofo no nyina wo miamia nyina megina me nananum nyina nemu nananum no ebinum beba beduru on the 4th wo nam kwanso ba wo mo eni ha no wo ba na mu nyina ba be kan yen ho na mesra adofo no se omu mmeboa yen eda eye on the 13th December na ye beyi no na yede betum empem wo Kumasi Babayara Sports Stadium eno na mesra adofo no ene Ghana man ene abusua nyina se omomra na ommejam yen mmeboa yen senya be ya ye nyina betumia akura ye papa ye ba ani ye nua Daddy Lumba fe wo sa eda eye on the 13th December memenda wo Kumasi Babayara Sports Stadium.